Jasmine Crockett was not afraid of power. She had grown up in a small town in Texas where hard work and bold ideas were what got you noticed. By the time she turned 35, she was already a senator, known for speaking her mind and never backing down. People said she was brave. Others called her reckless. But Jasmine believed in fighting for what was right, even if it meant going against powerful people. One of those people was Donald Trump. He was no longer president, but his voice still echoed across the country. Millions followed him. Millions listened to every word he said. He still held rallies, gave interviews, and ran a private network of supporters who believed in his vision of America. Jasmine didn't like what she saw. She thought Trump's influence was dangerous. She believed that too many people followed him blindly, and that his words often led to chaos, not unity. She wanted to prove it. She wanted to show how easily his followers could be triggered by fear. So she made a plan. She decided to create a fake threat letter. It would look like it came from someone inside the government, warning that there was a plot to harm Trump. The goal wasn't to hurt anyone. It was to show how quickly the public would believe something dangerous if it came from the right source. Late one night, she sat alone in her office typing on her laptop. The room was quiet except for the soft tapping of keys. She wrote the message carefully, making sure it looked real. She didn't send it anywhere, just saved it as a draft. She knew the risk. She knew Trump's team was always watching. They used advanced technology to track threats, real or not. But Jasmine believed she could control the situation. She thought she could leak the letter later, after proving how fast it spread panic. What she didn't know was that Trump's system was faster than she expected. Miles away, in a high-tech command center hidden behind the walls of a private estate, Lucas Bennett stared at his screen. He worked for a private intelligence firm linked to Trump's inner circle. His job was to monitor threats, real or imagined. He had built part of the system himself, a digital web that scanned private communications, flagged keywords, and tracked suspicious activity. When Jasmine started writing the letter, the system caught it immediately. Got something, Lucas muttered, clicking through layers of data. He checked the origin, the language pattern, and the metadata. Within minutes, he confirmed it. A draft message threatening the former president. He sent the report to his superior, who forwarded it straight to Trump. Trump didn't react at first. He simply read the report and smiled. "Let her think she's in control," he said quietly. "We'll make this easy for her." Back in Washington, Jasmine met with her chief of staff, Rebecca Langford. Rebecca was calm, smart, and always tried to keep Jasmine out of trouble. "You need to be careful," Rebecca warned. "If they find out you drafted that letter, it won't matter if it was fake. People will see it as real." "They won't find out," Jasmine replied. "I didn't send it, I just saved it." "Doesn't matter," Rebecca said. "People can twist anything these days, especially with the kind of tech they have." Jasmine shrugged. "Then let them twist it. I'm not scared of Trump." Rebecca sighed. She had seen careers destroyed over less. Later that week, Jasmine met with Matt Carter, a young journalist who had been chasing big stories since he graduated from college. He was hungry for news, and Jasmine knew it. "I might have something for you," she said, leaning forward. "Something big?" Matt asked. "Could be," she said. "But not yet. Wait for my signal." He nodded, eyes wide with excitement. Jasmine felt confident. She thought she was in control. She thought she could play the game better than the other side. She was wrong. The next day, Jasmine arrived at her office early. She flipped open her laptop and checked the news. Nothing unusual. By noon, everything changed. A breaking news alert flashed on every major network. Former president receives death threat from senior senator. Jasmine nearly dropped her coffee. On the screen, her name appeared in bold letters. Then came the letter, her letter. Not the original, but a version that looked identical. It was posted online, shared by Trump's official account. Within minutes, the internet exploded. Social media filled with posts calling Jasmine a criminal, a traitor, a danger to democracy. Videos showed angry crowds outside her office building. Commenters demanded her arrest. Jasmine's phone buzzed nonstop. Rebecca burst into the room. "Tell me this isn't real." she said, pale-faced. It's fake, Jasmine whispered. I never sent it. Then how did they get it? Jasmine stared at the screen. Her heart pounded. She hadn't sent the letter. She hadn't even opened it again. Someone else had accessed it. Someone had stolen it, and worse, they had made it public before she could. In the privacy of his home, Lucas Bennett watched the reaction unfold. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. Operation complete, he said to himself. He had done more than just copy the letter. He had altered it slightly, making it seem more threatening. He had also planted false metadata, showing that Jasmine had written it using her official government email. Every detail was perfect. Every piece of evidence pointed to her. He sent a short message to his boss. Crockett is finished. Jasmine tried to respond. She issued a statement saying the letter was forged. She claimed someone had hacked her system, but no one listened. Reporters twisted her words. Social media users mocked her. Even some of her own allies began to distance themselves. Matt Carter called her, but she didn't answer. She couldn't talk to him now, not without making things worse. Rebecca stood beside her. We need to find proof, Rebecca said. Fast. Jasmine nodded. She was still in shock. How did they do it? She asked. They must have access to something we don't, Rebecca said. Something bigger. Jasmine looked out the window. The world had turned against her overnight. She had tried to expose the truth, but instead she had become the villain. Jasmine Crockett felt like she was drowning. Everywhere she turned, people were shouting her name, not in support but in anger. Her face appeared on every news channel, accompanied by accusations that she had threatened Donald Trump. The fake letter dominated headlines, and no one seemed interested in listening to her side of the story. She tried issuing another statement, explaining once again that the letter was forged. But reporters ignored her claims. Instead, they focused on the evidence provided by Trump's team. Screenshots of metadata showing the letter came from her official government email account. Rebecca Langford sat across from Jasmine, holding a cup of coffee. Her hands trembled. Slightly. We need proof, Rebecca said. Something concrete to show you didn't write this. I know, Jasmine replied. But how do we prove something that didn't happen? Rebecca sighed. There has to be a way. Meanwhile, Matt Carter called repeatedly. Jasmine refused to answer. She couldn't trust him anymore. Not after seeing how quickly he jumped on the story without checking facts. Outside, protests grew louder. Crowds gathered near the Capitol building, holding signs with slogans like "Traitors Out" and "Protect Trump." Some chanted angrily, while others shouted insults at anyone associated with Jasmine. Inside her office, Jasmine stared at her laptop screen. She opened the draft folder looking for answers. The original letter was still there, untouched. Whoever had stolen it hadn't deleted it, they just made it look worse. They're framing me, Jasmine whispered. Who? Rebecca asked. Jasmine hesitated. Trump's people. Who else? Rebecca frowned. If we accuse them, they'll deny it. We need evidence. Jasmine nodded. Then let's find it. Later that evening, Jasmine reached out to Daniel Parker, an old friend from college. Daniel was a hacker, not the kind who worked for governments, but someone who stayed off the grid, helping whistleblowers expose corruption. Daniel picked up the call immediately. Jasmine? He said, surprised. What's going on? I need your help, she said. Someone hacked my system and planted fake evidence against me. I think Trump's team did it. Daniel listened carefully as Jasmine explained everything. When she finished, he exhaled sharply. This isn't good, he said. You're dealing with pros here. Can you trace it? She asked. Maybe, he replied. But I'll need access to your system, and time. Jasmine agreed. She sent him remote access to her computer and waited anxiously. Back at the command center, Lucas Bennett monitored the fallout. He watched live streams of protests, read angry tweets, and reviewed analytics showing how many people believed Jasmine was guilty. His boss walked in, smiling. Good work, the man said. Public opinion is shifting exactly where we want it, Lucas nodded. The AI did its job perfectly. And Jasmine? She's panicking, Lucas said. She's reaching out to hackers now, trying to fight back. Let her try, the boss replied. It won't matter. The evidence is airtight. Lucas grinned. He enjoyed his work, manipulating data, creating fake documents. It was all part of the game. And right now, Jasmine was losing. The next morning, Jasmine received a message from Daniel. I found something, he wrote. She called him instantly. What is it? She asked. Your system was breached, Daniel said. Someone accessed your files remotely. They used advanced tools, stuff most people don't have access to. Like what? Jasmine asked. Government-grade tech, Daniel replied. Probably military-level encryption breakers. Jasmine felt sick. So it wasn't just Trump's team, they had help. Looks that way, Daniel said. But there's more. Whoever did this left traces. Not much, but enough to track. Track? To who? Jasmine asked. Not yet, Daniel admitted. But I'm close. How long will it take? She asked. A few days, he said. Maybe less. Jasmine thanked him and hung up. She shared the update with Rebecca, who looked cautiously hopeful. If we can prove they framed you, Rebecca said, we might stand a chance. Might, Jasmine repeated. But until then, everyone thinks I'm guilty. Meanwhile, Matt Carter struggled with his conscience. He had written a scathing article about Jasmine, calling her actions reckless and dangerous. But now, doubts crept in. He noticed inconsistencies in the evidence against her. The timestamps didn't quite match. The metadata seemed too perfect. He decided to investigate further. Matt contacted Karen Wells, a veteran reporter known for uncovering scandals. Karen was skeptical of both sides, politicians and corporations, but she agreed to meet Matt. Over coffee, Matt explained what he had. Discovered something feels off, he said. The evidence against Jasmine is almost too clean. Karen raised an eyebrow. You think it's fake? I don't know, Matt admitted. But I want to find out. Karen smiled. Welcome to the real world of journalism. Together, they began digging deeper. Karen had sources within the intelligence community, people who might know about the technology used to frame Jasmine. Matt followed leads online, searching for clues. As they worked, public opinion started to shift, slightly. Some people questioned whether the evidence was genuine. Others pointed out that Jasmine had never actually sent the letter. It was only a draft. Still, the majority remained convinced she was guilty. Days passed, and Jasmine grew increasingly desperate. Protesters continued to gather outside her office, chanting slogans and waving banners. Security guards stood nearby, ready to intervene if things got violent. One evening, Jasmine stepped onto the balcony overlooking the crowd. She stared down at the sea of angry faces, feeling a mix of fear and determination. They're wrong, she muttered to herself. I didn't do this. Rebecca joined her, holding a clipboard. We need to release something soon. Rebecca said, anything to counter the narrative. Daniel's working on it, Jasmine replied. But until then, we're stuck. Just then, her phone buzzed. It was Daniel. I found it, he said. The breach came from a server farm linked to Trump's private network. Jasmine's heart raced. Can you prove it? Yes, Daniel said, but it won't be easy. They've covered their tracks well. Do whatever it takes, Jasmine said. We need this. Daniel promised to send her the details soon. That night, Jasmine couldn't sleep. She paced around her apartment, replaying events in her mind. She thought about how confident she had been when drafting the fake letter. She thought about how quickly everything spiraled out of control. I should have known better, she whispered. But regret wouldn't fix anything. She had to keep fighting. The next day, Jasmine held a press conference. Surrounded by cameras and reporters, she spoke clearly and calmly. I am innocent, she declared. The evidence against me is fabricated. I am working with experts to expose the truth. Reporters shouted questions, but Jasmine ignored them. She ended the conference abruptly, leaving the stage. As she walked away, Rebecca approached her. Did you see their faces? Rebecca asked. Some looked skeptical, Jasmine replied. Others, not so much. It's a start, Rebecca said. Jasmine nodded. A small one. Little did she know, the battle was far from over. Jasmine Crockett felt like she was running out of time. Every day brought new challenges, new accusations, and more pressure from all sides. Her press conference had sparked some interest, but most people still doubted her innocence. The fake letter continued to dominate headlines, and Trump's supporters grew louder by the hour. Daniel Parker worked tirelessly, digging deeper into the server farm linked to Trump's private network. He sent Jasmine updates regularly, explaining how they had manipulated her files and planted false evidence. It's worse than I thought, Daniel told her during one call. They didn't just hack your system. They used AI to rewrite parts of the letter. AI? Jasmine asked, shocked. Yes, Daniel replied. An advanced program called Echo 9. It can mimic writing styles and create convincing fake documents. Jasmine clenched her fists. So they made it look like I wrote something I never did. Exactly, Daniel said. And they covered their tracks well, proving this won't be easy. Do what you can, Jasmine said. We need proof before it's too late. Meanwhile, Rebecca Langford stayed glued to social media, monitoring public reactions. She noticed small shifts. Some people were starting to question the authenticity of the evidence, but the majority remained convinced that Jasmine was guilty. We're losing ground, Rebecca admitted during a meeting with Jasmine. People trust Trump more than they trust us. Then we have to change that, Jasmine replied. If we expose the truth about Echo 9, maybe they'll listen. Maybe, Rebecca said. But exposing tech like that is risky. If it backfires, we'll look even worse. Jasmine nodded. She knew the stakes were high, but she had no choice. She couldn't let Trump's team win. Matt Carter and Karen Wells continued their investigation, working long hours to uncover the truth. Matt followed digital trails, searching for clues about the server farm and its connection to Trump's network. Karen tapped into her sources, gathering information about the technology used to frame Jasmine. One evening, Karen received a tip from an anonymous whistleblower. Echo 9, the source said. That's what they used. Karen thanked the person and hung up. She immediately called Matt. Did you hear about Echo 9? Karen asked. No, Matt replied. What is it? A neural broadcast system, Karen explained. It creates fake content and spreads it across platforms. Sounds like someone used it to frame Jasmine. Can we prove it? Matt asked. Not yet, Karen said. But if we dig deeper, maybe we can. The two reporters decided to focus their efforts on Echo 9, hoping to expose its role in the scandal. Back at the command center, Lucas Bennett monitored the situation closely. He watched as public opinion began to shift slightly, thanks to Jasmine's press conference and growing skepticism among certain groups. She's fighting back, Lucas muttered. His boss walked in frowning. What's happening? The man asked. Nothing major, Lucas replied, but some people are questioning the evidence. Make sure it stays solid, the boss ordered. Deploy Echo 9 again if necessary. Lucas nodded. He activated the system, feeding it new data designed to discredit Jasmine further. Within hours, social media flooded with posts claiming that Jasmine had ties to foreign governments and planned to overthrow Trump. Jasmine saw the posts and felt her heart sink. The lies kept coming, faster and more vicious than ever. How do we stop this? She asked Rebecca. We can't, Rebecca admitted. All we can do is fight back. Jasmine agreed. She reached out to Matt and Karen, offering them exclusive access to Daniel's findings. The reporters hesitated at first, unsure whether to trust her, but eventually accepted. If you're lying, Karen warned, we'll destroy you. I'm not lying, Jasmine replied. You'll see. Days turned into weeks. Daniel worked around the clock, piecing together evidence of the breach. He traced the attack back to the server farm and identified key players involved in the operation. He also uncovered details about Echo 9, including its ability to manipulate data and create fake content. "This is huge," Daniel told Jasmine. "If we release this, it could blow everything wide open." "Then let's do it," Jasmine said. "Not yet," Daniel cautioned. "We need to make sure the timing is right. If we move too soon, they'll shut us down." Jasmine understood. She waited anxiously, knowing that patience was crucial. In the meantime, Matt and Karen published articles raising questions about the authenticity of the evidence against Jasmine. They cited inconsistencies in the metadata and pointed out flaws in the timeline. Public opinion shifted slightly. More people began to wonder whether Jasmine was truly guilty. Trump responded with another broadcast, calling the reporters liars and accusing them of spreading propaganda. "Ignore him," Karen told Matt. "He's desperate." Matt nodded. "Let's keep going." One night, Jasmine received a message from Daniel. "We're ready," he wrote. She called him instantly. "What do you mean?" she asked. "We have enough proof to expose Echo 9, Daniel replied. "It's time to go public." Jasmine hesitated. "Are you sure?" "Yes," Daniel said. "Trust me." Jasmine took a deep breath. "Okay, let's do it." The next morning, Jasmine held another press conference. This time she stood alongside Matt and Karen, who presented their findings to the world. "What you're seeing is proof," Karen said, showing screenshots of the server farm and details about Echo 9. "This system was used to fabricate evidence against Senator Crockett." Reporters shouted questions, but Karen and Matt answered calmly, explaining how Echo 9 worked and why it posed a threat to democracy. Public reaction was mixed. Some people believed the revelations while others dismissed them as conspiracy theories. Protests continued, with crowds divided over who to support. Jasmine watched the chaos unfold, feeling both relief and frustration. "It's a start," Rebecca said. "Just a start," Jasmine replied. The battle was far from over, but for the first time in weeks, Jasmine felt hope. After the press conference, Jasmine Crockett felt a mix of emotions: hope, fear, and exhaustion. The evidence about Echo 9 had been released, but she knew the fight was far from over. Trump's supporters dismissed the claims as lies, while others demanded answers. Matt Carter and Karen Wells worked tirelessly to keep the story alive. They published articles, gave interviews, and shared documents proving that Echo 9 existed. Their efforts gained traction online, with hashtags like #JairExposeEcho9 trending on social media. But Trump wasn't backing down. He responded with another broadcast, calling the accusations fake news and accusing Matt and Karen of being part of a conspiracy against him. "They're trying to destroy America," Trump declared during the live stream. "Don't believe them." His words ignited fresh outrage. Protests erupted across the country, with some people supporting Jasmine and others rallying behind Trump. Meanwhile, Lucas Bennett monitored the fallout from the command center. He watched as public opinion shifted back and forth, unsure which side would win. "We need to act fast," Lucas told his boss. "If this keeps up, people might start believing them." "Then deploy countermeasures," the boss replied. "Use Echo 9 again." Lucas nodded. He activated the system, feeding it new data designed to discredit Karen and Matt. Within hours, fake posts appeared online, claiming that the reporters were paid actors hired by foreign governments. Karen saw the posts and sighed. "Here we go again." "Ignore it," Matt said. "Focus on the facts." Easier said than done. The smear campaign spread quickly, making it harder for people to trust the truth. Jasmine met with Daniel Parker to discuss next steps. They sat in a small, dimly lit room filled with computers and wires. Daniel explained how Echo 9 worked, showing Jasmine screenshots of its inner workings. "This thing is powerful," Daniel said. "It doesn't just create fake content, it spreads it faster than anyone can react." "Is there any way to stop it?" Jasmine asked. "Not completely," Daniel admitted, "but we can expose it further. Show people exactly how it manipulates information." "How?" Jasmine asked. "By infiltrating the server farm," Daniel replied. If we access their mainframe, we can gather undeniable proof. Jasmine hesitated. That's risky. Yes, Daniel said, but it's the only way. Jasmine nodded. Do it. Daniel began planning the operation, enlisting help from trusted allies in the underground tech community. Together, they prepared to hack into the server farm and retrieve the evidence. Meanwhile, Rebecca Langford stayed busy managing damage control. She reached out to independent news outlets, urging them to cover the story fairly. Some agreed, publishing balanced reports that highlighted both sides of the debate. Public opinion remained divided. Some believed Jasmine and the reporters, while others sided with Trump. The tension grew thicker with each passing day. One evening, Jasmine received a call from Matt. We found something big, Matt said. A whistleblower inside Trump's network. Who? Jasmine asked. Someone who helped build Echo 9, Matt replied. They're willing to testify. Jasmine's heart raced. Can we trust them? I think so, Matt said. But we need to move quickly. Bring them in, Jasmine said. Let's hear what they have to say. The whistleblower, a young programmer named Lisa, met with Jasmine, Matt, and Karen in secret. She explained how Echo 9 operated, confirming everything Daniel had uncovered. It's worse than you know, Lisa said. They've been using it for years, not just to frame people, but to manipulate elections and policies. Jasmine felt sick. Why didn't anyone stop them? Because no one knew, Lisa replied, until now. With Lisa's testimony, the team had even stronger evidence. They decided to release it all at once, hoping to overwhelm Trump's defenses. Back at the command center, Lucas Bennett noticed unusual activity on the server farm's network. Someone's trying to break in, Lucas said, staring at his screen. Stop them, his boss ordered. Lucas typed furiously, deploying firewalls and counter-hacks, but whoever was attacking was good. Very good. Who is it? The boss asked. Not sure yet, Lucas replied. But they're persistent. Unknown to Lucas, Daniel and his team were working around the clock to bypass the security measures. They encountered obstacles, but their determination kept them going. Almost there, Daniel muttered, eyes glued to his monitor. Finally, after hours of effort, they succeeded. Daniel accessed the mainframe and downloaded terabytes of data, including logs, blueprints, and user records. Got it, Daniel whispered. He sent the files to Jasmine immediately. The next morning, Jasmine held another press conference. This time, she presented overwhelming evidence, leaked documents, whistleblower testimony, and detailed explanations of how Echo 9 manipulated reality. This isn't just about me, Jasmine said. It's about protecting democracy. If we allow technology like this to exist unchecked, none of us are safe. Reporters listened intently, asking questions and taking notes. For the first time, many began to doubt Trump's version of events. Public reaction was explosive. Protests grew larger, with crowds chanting slogans like "Truth Matters" and "No to AI manipulation." Trump responded with anger, calling the press conference an attack on America. He vowed to fight back, but his credibility was starting to crack. Even some of his own supporters began to question whether he was telling the truth. Jasmine returned to her office, exhausted but hopeful. Rebecca greeted her with a smile. You did it, Rebecca said. Not yet, Jasmine replied, but we're closer. Outside, the world continued to debate. Opinions clashed, tempers flared, and uncertainty lingered. But one thing was clear. The truth was finally coming out. The fallout from Jasmine Crockett's press conference spread like wildfire. Millions watched the live stream, shared clips on social media, and debated the evidence she presented. Some were convinced that Echo 9 was real and dangerous. Others dismissed it as another attempt to smear Trump. Meanwhile, Trump's team scrambled to respond. Lucas Bennett worked around the clock, deploying countermeasures to discredit the new revelations. He used Echo 9 itself to create fake news stories claiming that Jasmine and her allies had fabricated the entire scandal. This is war, Lucas muttered as he typed furiously at his computer. His boss paced behind him, visibly frustrated. "Make sure no one believes them," the man ordered. "We can't let this slide." Lucas nodded. "I'm doing everything I can." But despite their efforts, cracks began to form in Trump's narrative. Independent journalists verified parts of Lisa's testimony, confirming that Echo 9 had been used in previous scandals. Whistleblowers from other tech firms came forward, revealing similar tools being developed for political purposes. Public opinion shifted slightly. While many still supported Trump, others started questioning whether they had been misled. Jasmine noticed the change. Protests outside her office grew quieter, replaced by smaller gatherings of supporters holding signs that read, "Truth over lies," and "Protect democracy." Even some of her former critics softened their tone. "It's working, Rebecca," Langford said during a meeting with Jasmine. "People are starting to see the truth." "Not fast enough," Jasmine replied. "We need more proof, something undeniable." Rebecca agreed. "Daniel's team is still analyzing the data. Maybe they'll find something." Jasmine hoped so. She couldn't afford to lose momentum now. Daniel Parker and his team sifted through the files stolen from the server farm. They uncovered shocking details. Logs showing how Echo 9 had influenced elections, manipulated stock markets, and even altered public health policies during crises. "This is insane," Daniel said, shaking his head. "They've been playing God." He shared the findings with Jasmine, who felt both anger and determination. "We have to release this," Jasmine said. "If people see what they've done, they'll demand justice." "Be careful," Daniel warned. "If we push too hard, they'll retaliate." Jasmine understood the risks, but knew there was no turning back. She called Matt Carter and Karen Wells, asking them to prepare a massive report exposing every detail of Echo 9's operations. The reporters agreed, knowing it would be their biggest story yet. Meanwhile, Trump held a rally in a packed arena, addressing thousands of cheering supporters. He denied all accusations, calling Jasmine and her allies traitors and enemies of the state. "They're trying to destroy America," Trump declared, pointing at the crowd, "but we won't let them." The audience erupted in applause, chanting his name. Backstage, Lucas Bennett watched the speech on a monitor. He felt uneasy. Despite Trump's bravado, he could sense the tide turning. "What do we do now?" Lucas asked his boss. "Double down," the man replied. "Deploy Echo 9 again, hit them where it hurts." Lucas obeyed, feeding the system fresh data designed to target Matt and Karen personally. Fake posts appeared online accusing the reporters of financial crimes and unethical behavior. Karen saw the attacks and sighed. "They're desperate." "Ignore it," Matt said. "Focus on the story." Easier said than done. The smear campaign gained traction, making it harder for people to trust the truth. Jasmine decided to take matters into her own hands. She reached out to influential figures, politicians, celebrities, and activists, asking for their support. Some hesitated, fearing backlash, but others agreed to speak out. One of those allies was Emily Grant, a popular TV host known for her investigative journalism. Emily invited Jasmine onto her show for an exclusive interview. "Tell me everything," Emily said as cameras rolled. Jasmine explained the situation clearly, presenting documents, screenshots, and expert testimonies. She spoke passionately about the dangers of AI manipulation and the importance of transparency. "This isn't just about me," Jasmine said. "It's about protecting everyone's right to know the truth." Emily listened intently, nodding occasionally. When the interview ended, she promised to keep covering the story. The episode aired that night, reaching millions of viewers. Reactions poured in with hashtags like #MarkStopEco9 and #WhereTruthMatters trending worldwide. Even skeptics began to question whether Trump's team had gone too far. Trump responded with another broadcast, accusing Jasmine of orchestrating a media circus. He vowed to sue her and anyone else involved in the scandal. "They think they can silence me," Trump said, glaring at the camera. "But they're wrong." His words sparked mixed reactions. Some applauded his defiance, while others saw it as further evidence of guilt. With growing pressure, Jasmine realized she had to act decisively. She contacted Congress, urging them to launch an official investigation into Echo 9 and its creators. "This isn't just my fight anymore," Jasmine told lawmakers. It's yours too. Some legislators hesitated, wary of confronting Trump directly. But others agreed, recognizing the potential threat posed by unchecked AI technology. A bipartisan committee formed, tasked with examining the evidence and determining next steps. Meanwhile, Daniel discovered something alarming. Lucas Bennett's team was planning a final, desperate move. Using Echo 9, they intended to create a massive disinformation campaign aimed at destabilizing the country. They're going all in, Daniel told Jasmine. If this works, chaos will erupt everywhere. Can we stop them? Jasmine asked. Maybe, Daniel replied, but we need help. Jasmine reached out to Matt, Karen, and Emily, explaining the situation. Together, they devised a plan to expose the plot before it unfolded. We'll go live, Emily suggested. Broadcast everything we know directly to the public, Jasmine agreed. Do it. On the night of the planned attack, Emily hosted a special episode of her show, featuring interviews with Jasmine, Matt, Karen, and Lisa. They revealed the full scope of Echo 9's capabilities and warned viewers about the impending danger. Millions tuned in, watching as the truth unfolded in real time. Hashtags like #SaveDemocracy and Expose the Truth flooded social media. Lucas Bennett watched the broadcast in disbelief. His carefully constructed plans were unraveling before his eyes. What do we do now? He asked his boss. Nothing, the man replied grimly. It's over. The next morning, federal agents raided the server farm, seizing equipment and arresting key members of Trump's tech team. Lucas Bennett tried to flee but was caught within hours. Jasmine stood outside her office, watching as crowds gathered to celebrate. Tears filled her eyes as she realized how far they had come. We did it, Rebecca said, standing beside her. Not alone, Jasmine replied. Everyone helped. Though the battle wasn't fully won, hope burned brighter than ever. The aftermath of the raid on the server farm sent shockwaves across the country. Federal agents confiscated servers, hard drives, and documents proving the existence of Echo 9. Key members of Trump's tech team were arrested, including Lucas Bennett, who now faced charges of conspiracy, fraud, and misuse of technology. Jasmine Crockett watched the news unfold from her office, feeling a mix of relief and exhaustion. She had spent weeks fighting against impossible odds, but finally the truth was coming out. It's not over yet, Rebecca Langford reminded her. Trump himself is still untouchable. For now, Jasmine replied, but we've weakened him. People are starting to see him for what he really is. Meanwhile, Matt Carter and Karen Wells continued their reporting, digging deeper into the connections between Trump's network and other powerful figures. They uncovered evidence of secret meetings, illegal deals, and plans to expand Echo 9's capabilities. This goes beyond one man, Karen said during a phone call with Jasmine. It's a system designed to control everything. Then we need to dismantle it, Jasmine said firmly. All of it, Karen agreed. Together they worked with lawmakers to draft legislation banning the use of AI for political manipulation. Public support grew stronger every day, with protests demanding accountability and transparency. Donald Trump remained defiant, holding rallies and giving interviews to loyal media outlets. He denied any involvement with Echo 9, calling the investigation a witch hunt. They're trying to silence me because I speak the truth, Trump declared at a packed event. But America will never give up. His supporters cheered loudly, waving flags and chanting slogans. But even among them, doubts began to creep in. Whispers spread about whether Trump had gone too far. Backstage, Trump's advisors looked worried. Without Echo 9 to manipulate public opinion, their options were limited. We need a new strategy, one advisor said. What strategy? Another snapped. Everything's falling apart. Trump ignored their concerns, insisting that his base would never abandon him. But deep down, he felt uneasy. For the first time in years, he wasn't sure he could win. Jasmine appeared before Congress to testify about her experiences. Standing at a podium, she spoke calmly but passionately, explaining how she had been framed and what she had learned about Echo 9. This isn't just about me, Jasmine said, looking directly at the lawmakers. It's about protecting our democracy. If we allow tools like Echo 9 to exist, No one is safe, not politicians, not journalists, not ordinary citizens. Her words resonated with many. Some legislators promised to take action, introducing bills aimed at regulating AI and increasing transparency in government operations. Public opinion shifted further. Hashtags like Truth Wins and No More Echo 9 dominated social media. Protests outside the Capitol grew larger, with crowds calling for justice. Emily Grant covered the hearings live, interviewing experts and witnesses. Her coverage reached millions, solidifying her role as a trusted voice in the fight for truth. As investigations continued, more whistleblowers came forward, revealing additional details about Echo 9 and its creators. One of them, a former engineer named Ryan, shared shocking information. The system had been tested on smaller groups before being deployed nationwide. They wanted to see how far they could push it, Ryan explained during an interview. How much people would believe without questioning. The revelations sparked outrage. Calls for accountability grew louder, with demands for criminal charges against everyone involved. Federal prosecutors announced plans to file lawsuits against Trump's organization alleging misuse of advanced technology and violations of privacy laws. Trump responded angrily, accusing investigators of bias and corruption. But his denials carried less weight now that so much evidence had surfaced. Even some of his closest allies began distancing themselves, fearing association with scandal. Jasmine knew the fight wasn't over. While progress had been made, there were still powerful forces working behind the scenes to protect their interests. She met with Matt, Karen, and Emily to discuss next steps. "We need to keep pushing," Jasmine said. "Expose every piece of this operation until nothing is left." "Agreed," Karen replied. "But be careful. They'll retaliate." Jasmine nodded. "I'm ready." Together, they planned a series of exposés targeting companies and individuals linked to Echo 9. Each article, broadcast, and report added fuel to the fire, keeping the pressure on Trump's network. Public demand for reform grew stronger. Petitions circulated online, gathering millions of signatures. Protests spread to cities across the country, uniting people from all walks of life. Lawmakers listened. Bipartisan efforts led to the creation of a new regulatory agency tasked with monitoring AI development and preventing misuse. Though challenges remained, hope burned brighter than ever. Months later, Jasmine stood on the steps of the Capitol building, addressing a massive crowd gathered for a rally celebrating transparency and accountability. "This victory belongs to all of us," Jasmine said, smiling at the sea of faces. "We proved that when we stand together, even the most powerful cannot silence us." Cheers erupted, echoing through the streets. Banners waved, carrying messages of unity and resilience. Behind the scenes, Jasmine reflected on everything she had endured, the threats, the lies, the moments of doubt. She realized that while the battle had been difficult, it had also strengthened her resolve. "Thank you," she whispered softly, looking out at the crowd. "Thank you for believing." Rebecca joined her, tears in her eyes. "You did it," Rebecca said. "No," Jasmine replied. "We did." As fireworks lit up the night sky, Jasmine felt a sense of peace. The war against corruption and manipulation was far from over, but for now they had won a crucial victory, and that was enough.